Tonight on Joy News Prime, resignation of North Tong MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa from Parliament's Appointments Committee reveals cracks in the camp of the minority amid suggestions there needs to be a change in leadership. It comes a day after another minority MP expressed his frustrations with the side's handling of the vetting of ministerial appointees.
I did not want to be seen as endorsing somebody that I believe is a scam on Ghana. Ken Ofori-Atta epitomizes all that is wrong with our financial and the economic sector of Ghana. And I'm the last person to endorse such a move.
The leadership, however, believes it is very much in charge and will weather the storm.
The party is focused to work towards recapturing power in 2024, and the parliamentary organ led by me currently will do what is needful to work in tandem with the party to hold the Nana Akufo-Addo government accountable and to lead the party to victory into 2024. Whatever storm it is, we'll weather it. Thank you.
The NDC National Executive has meanwhile stated the leadership of the minority has the backing of the party.
It is the position of the party that if Akufo-Addo wants a lame duck Minister of Finance, let him have him. He's had his Minister of Finance.
The police has vowed to go all out to stop churches that may attempt to flout COVID-19 protocols this Easter by conducting all manner of services.
We are not antichrist. We are not against the churches. But looking at the global pandemic, COVID-19, brings us on board as law enforcement officers.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister has also called on the police to shut all the beaches in the region as part of efforts to ensure compliance with COVID-19 protocols.
I repeat, please stay off the beaches. Well, the police will be there and they have strict instructions. If they find you there, well, you will talk to them.
In business, all is set for the conversion of the national ID numbers into tax ID numbers beginning tomorrow, April 1. We'll hear from the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And Savannah Regional Security Council gives moratorium to illegal miners and rosewood dealers to cease the operations and pack out of the region. My name is Israel. And Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our Fan of our studios at Kokomlemle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to air, and also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. This is a home of independent, fearless, credible, and impactful journalism. Do stay tuned in. Now, first story, Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has announced his resignation from Parliament's Appointments Committee in what appears to reveal wrangling within the minority. The MP did not state his reasons, except to say they are personal and based on principle. It however comes on the back of disquiet amongst the minority over the side's handling of the vetting and approval of President Akufo-Addo's ministerial appointees. Bolga Central MP Isaac Odongo only Tuesday stated he deliberately stayed away from Parliament on the day Ken Ofori-Atta's appointment as Finance Minister was approved by the House.
I did not want to be seen as endorsing somebody that I believe is a scam on Ghana. Ken Ofori-Atta epitomizes all that is wrong with our financial and the economic sector of Ghana. And I'm the last person to endorse such a move. And that is why I wanted the records to show that I'm absent. So I did not even go there to sign. If there's anybody who will put his life on the line to get Ken Ofori-Atta not to be a Minister for Finance, you can wake me up any day. But it's a collective decision. I disagree with the decision, but I respect the view of the majority. I feel very disappointed with that comment. You cut your losses. He's messed us up to this point in time. And there are very credible people within the MPP who can take the most difficult task of turning our country around. As I speak today, I am telling you that one of his schemes is to collapse at quarter with the bond. a zero coupon bond. Is that how you carry your cross? If you ask me, you cut your losses and begin the difficult process of rebuilding with 4 years ahead. And we have 4 years of rebuilding that we have lost. But nevertheless, we must do our work.
No, Shiva, that's why you decided to abstain.
The consensus was reached at committee.
Okay.
I was not at committee to have the full facts with which they made a decision to go consensus. But having had consensus, you cannot be agitating on the floor.
Well, his North-Tong colleague has in the last few hours resigned from the appointments committee. He released this letter a while ago, which he says has been accepted by the Speaker. He indicates, I humbly present comradely felicitations. This is to formally convey my decision to discontinue my membership of the appointments committee after days of careful reflection and thoughtful considerations. I shall like to state that the reasons for this difficult decision are both personal and on principle. Respectfully, do take note that my resignation is with immediate effect and therefore shall not be available. I shall not be available for the vetting of nominees for deputy ministerial positions. And then he continues, may I extend to you, leadership of the House, the Committee of Selection and leadership of the Great National Democratic Congress, my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to serve as a member of the Appointments Committee in the 6th, 7th and 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Kindly accept, Right Honourable, the assurance of my highest esteem. And this letter from Samuel Kudjoto Ablaka North-Tong MP actually went to the Speaker. And he has, in the last 2 hours, posted on his Facebook wall that his resignation has been accepted by the Speaker. So it indicates, concluded a fruitful and frank meeting with Right Honourable Speaker Alban Bagbing a while ago. I am enormously grateful to him for accepting my resignation from the Appointments Committee of Parliament. May the good Lord show us mercy and guide our steps in the journey ahead. Now, there have been suggesting the resignation of the North-Tong MP and the frustrations expressed by his Bolga Central colleague is an indication the NDC MPs have lost confidence in their leadership. A former NDC MP for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, wants a change at the helm of the leadership.
Very heartwarming. I am not surprised. I know that in the minority caucus are men and women of integrity, conviction politicians. And yesterday, I'm sure you heard Adongo distance himself, you know, from the approval. What Ablako has done is courageous, and he and the many other conviction politicians amongst the minority caucus have to be celebrated and encouraged, you know, to hold on to their principle. You know, we can't continue to have politics of convenience, you know, as we are beginning to see. The problem of the NDC in Parliament is leadership. There's a complete lack of leadership. And the sooner the party does the right thing, the better for all of us. Sami Ablakwa's resignation is a vote of no confidence in the Haruna Idrisu-led minority in Parliament.
Well, the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, obviously disagrees that the leadership is at its wit's end and says whatever issues are there will be addressed. We will hear from him in a bit. But there has been some attempt by the leadership of the party to address the issues at a meeting with the minority caucus Wednesday. General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Esiedunkeche, spoke with journalists after that meeting and, among others, responded to suggestions that his appointment onto the Parliamentary Service Board has something to do or was a quid pro quo for the approval of Ken Ofori-Atta. Indeed, he stated that the approval of Ken Ofori-Atta had the blessing of the party. He also stated he was yet to receive a copy of the North-Tong MP's resignation from Parliament Appointments Committee.
It is the position of the party that if Aguvado wants a lame duck Minister of Finance, let him have him. He's had his Minister of Finance. But that doesn't take away the suffering of the masses. So our MPs will go back and then deal with the situation that affects the daily lives of Ghanaians. And as I've told you, somebody who is having a toothache doesn't care whether Afghanistan is being bombed elsewhere or so on. There are certain things that that are considered extraneous to the average, grassroots person who cannot find where his next meal is coming from. He's not too worried about who gets approved where.
So I get a sense that the approval was taken by the party.
Yes.
It was a party decision.
Yes, a party decision.
To approve Ken Ofori-Atta.
Yes. It was a party decision.
I see, but some of your members in Parliament are upset about the decision. In fact, today, Ablakwa has resigned from being a member of the appointment committee.
I don't know.
How is the party taking that?
I haven't heard about his resignation. I don't have any copy about his resignation.
Have you received a letter of his resignation?
I'm unable to comment on letters I haven't read. So you know my style. If I read a document and you want me to comment on it, I will do. But I will be surprised if it is coming out of Ken Ofori-Atta's approval. It shouldn't be coming out of Ken Ofori-Atta's.
Because we do understand that they demanded some further information from Ken, so the approval they offered was conditional. If he's able to provide it, then they can approve him. Ken didn't do that, and so they decided not to approve him. But unfortunately,
I am saying that there was a party decision that let President Akufo-Addo have his finance minister, and that has been achieved. So what is all this about? Details about who agreed or who didn't agree. The point is that this was a party decision. It has been implemented, and that's all. That's the end of the story.
Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu has also denied suggestions that appointment of the NDC General Secretary Johnson Esiedun Ketia as a member of the Parliamentary Service Board was in lieu of Ken Ofori-Atta's approval as Finance Minister. At a media briefing in Parliament Wednesday, he also reacted to calls for his resignation.
The NDC General Secretary into the Parliamentary Service Board, true?
Oh, absolutely not. The discussion for the determination of members of the Parliamentary Service Board long ensued even before Ken was nominated as Minister Designate for Finance. I had a discussion with the Speaker a day after his election, and it was my view that he allows the two leaders to nominate one person to the board. The Honorable Osei Mensah brought in Honorable Abraham Osei Edu. Then I also said Honorable Esiedun Nketia, because they are all former members of Parliament. It has practically nothing, just the usual viciousness, malicious, despicable lies to tie the two together. This was 2 days after Honorable Alban Bagbin was elected. We're in a discussion as to the composition of the board. What held it on was for me and the Honorable Osei Mensah to discuss further about what all of you have missed. How do we get a woman onto the board? That was our concern. What held it up was about whether all of us were bringing in male. So there is no relationship. The Honorable Esiedun Ketia is as qualified as any Ghanaian to serve on that board. The Honorable Hakma Uswajiman chaired the MPP Council of Elders, and he was on the Parliamentary Service Board in the 7th Parliament. What we should pray is for them to bring their expertise to build a responsible, accountable Parliament and not allow partisan excesses into the work and operation of Parliament. I trust he would be able to do that. And then I should say that the Honorable Osei Mensah expressed concern that Haruna Esiedun is General Secretary of a political party. So I tapped him and said, Leader, but Hackman too was chairman of your Council of Elders, and we laughed over it. So there's no relationship. It's just the delay in announcing it. If you want, check from the Secretariat. The memo for it was prepared. Even if you go back to the other paper, you will recall that long ago it was advertised. So we needed to discuss the manner of the advice. So I again discussed with the Honorable Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business that can't we do it as we did when the President wrote to us on the Council of State? The two of us should concur, have a definite position, and concur that to the Speaker. So it is not true that Honorable Esiedun Ketia has anything to do with the approval of Ken Ofori-Atta. At the appropriate time, many of you know me. Have you ever seen me retract my words publicly? Hardly. You know why? There is a hadith of the Prophet I have always used to guide me. I don't comment on doubtful matters. I comment on what I know. You know, the hadith of the Prophet said that the forbidden is known, the unforbidden is known. Between them are doubtful matters. Avoid doubtful matters. You see, you are questioning me about doubtful matters. I'm keeping away from them because they are doubtful matters. But time and truth. You've heard my famous quote, God cannot be for and against the same matter at the same time. God has choices and God makes choices. Time will make choices. As for undermine, I have survived it. I will survive it. But it's only natural. I hear people getting worried about whether Haruna wants to run for high office or not. Some of you have even decided to go and produce a three-piece suit for me. I've never worn a three-piece suit in my life. Neither have I owned that particular grain tie. So
now, regarding calls for the leadership of the minority to resign, we've been speaking with the constituents of Asawase MP, Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak.
I'm not disappointed in my member of parliament because the members of the vetting committee, especially on the side of the NDC, cannot go into, a consensus building within the comforts of themselves without even, the leadership of the party. So even I know what happened was in concern with our party leadership.
If you study carefully with the reasons the minority have stated, it really resonates with some of us. You understand? Now, if you are saying that like the party should disapprove the appointees of the president. Remember, the law grants him the mandate to reappoint them again. He can nominate them again. Even if he doesn't nominate them, he is the one to appoint them. He can still remove people from the NPP to still fill in the gap. He's not going to appoint or nominate any NDC or any other member. So I think that, look, even though I think some people are paced, but sometimes we need to stick to reality. Politics doesn't mean we should lose our sense of objectivity. Maybe in the wisdom of the minority leadership or the minority MPs, they know not everything will be brought outside to discuss with us. You don't know the negotiations that they went behind us. You don't know what triggered that. So I think we should allow them to work. I can tell you in my life, I've never seen an honest person like Honorable Muntaka Mubarak. And let me tell you something. He's someone who truly respects, and represent the will of his people. When this issue came, my colleagues are there. We called him. He came on board. He gave us everything from A to Z. We are convinced with the decision that he gave us. We think as a member of parliament, this is what he's supposed to do. And he has truly done that. And we are happy. We will rally behind him.
Some came out to tell us it's a strategy. And then whoever knows strategic decisions, you aren't supposed to come and wash certain things out. Other than that, your opponents will capitalize on it to do one or two things. So if it's a strategy, we are waiting for the outcome of the strategy. But I wouldn't say we should go and be, apportioning blames here and there. So I think all in all, we are not okay with this appointment. But as far as we are not okay, that doesn't mean our leadership too do not know what they are about. Besides, they are there. They know what is happening there. So if they've, decided to approve some people based on certain reasons, then we should wait for the strategy to materialize.
I think NDC members or the leadership of the NDC should come together and understand that those who are in the parliament as MPs are not working for NDC alone. They are working for Mother Ghana.
As Muntaka rightly said, he said they are in parliament to serve their constituents, not the NDC as a body. Every one of us watched the vetting committee, how it went. All the questions they asked him, he was able to answer it very clearly, which shows that the NDC have been deceiving the public for a long period of time. They have put on their political lenses to lambast him with things he has not been doing. Because if now he has come in front of you for a vetting, all those things you have been claiming he has been doing, ask him there. when they asked me, he was able to wash himself from the filth they have put him inside. So to me, when you ask me, I've said, I will tell you that the NDC have deceived the public for a long period of time.
Well, the Minority Chief Whip has been reacting to the development in the last few hours or today, as well as calls on him to resign, and we'll be bringing you that soundbite. But dismissed former Central Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Alote Jacob, says the resignation of Okujoto Ablakwa from the Appointment Committee in Parliament shows clear confusion among minority members of Parliament. He says hard balls are being pressed in Parliament as the President is fully in charge to ensure that all his appointees sail through.
Hard balls are being played in Parliament. And one thing I've realized is a person who has been painted black, has been given all manner of names, character assassination, blackmailing. The person comes to Parliament, usually soft-spoken, and then all of a sudden, consensus. It's a political hardball game being played behind the scene. Because without that, I don't think that Ken Ofori-Atta would have sailed through with his vetting. I sincerely believe that the president is in full charge. And that is why all his appointees are being endorsed in Parliament. It's a hardball game. Then all of a sudden somebody resigns from his position as a member of Appointments Committee. Then Ken is approved. Ken Ofori-Atta is approved. The next you have a general secretary of a political party being appointed a member of the Parliamentary Service Board. It's a hardball game played by mature people. And it ends up where you can smell the president in it, that his government will have to be successful for the next 4 years because he asked for 4 more years to do more. And doing more is making sure that all his appointees sails through, and it's been done. That is how I see it.
What do you think the minority should be doing going forward?
Well, there seems to be, would I say chaos? I wouldn't say that. But maybe that is the thinking of some people, that there seems to be some kind of mixed feelings from the grassroots vis-a-vis the determination of the leadership in the minority to ensure that our governance system progresses. And that's how I see it. And about my resigning and being sacked from NDC, well, I will leave that to the public to judge. But I enjoy being a social commentator.
Now let's return to the Minority Chief Whip regarding calls for the leadership of the minority to resign. We've been speaking with him exclusively, and Muntaka Mubarak has been speaking with Evan Smenton.
Our front is solid. The caucus is solid. Obviously, in a group, you have all these group dynamics. Challenges come. And I always tell people that, if we run a caucus and there are no challenges, then we are not making progress. But each time you want to experiment things, you want to do things that are new, that are different, you should expect sometimes some of them may not go right, some may go excellent. All of them put together defines the leadership. And I think that if you take it from 6th of January to date, on a scale, I don't think anybody will say we've done badly. I think that we've done fairly well. Yes, we have these challenges that almost threaten the unity in the caucus, within the party.
Well, the full interview will air on PM Express at 9 p.m. That's right after this bulletin. Now, there's been a statement from the leadership of the National Democratic Congress, and it reads, the leadership of the National Democratic Congress has held a meeting with the Council of Elders of the party and the entire parliamentary caucus in the aftermath of the disquiet and misgivings that characterized the approval of the ministerial nominees of President Akufo-Addo. The meeting was conducted in a healthy atmosphere in which the concerns of the teaming members and supporters were adequately ventilated and addressed. Accordingly, the leadership of the party wishes to assure all and sundry that the matters that have provoked public commentary have been dealt with in a manner that will promote and strengthen the cohesion of the party and all its organs. We call on all to assure them on the need to put party unity over and above all interests so that together we can hold the Akufo-Addo government to account, even as we take measures to develop strategies towards the next general elections. Long live the NDC. And this is signed by the National Chairman, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. You're watching Enjoy News Prime. We're taking a break here now, but we have a whole lot more coming your way on the bulletin. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, he has called on the police to shut all the beaches in the region as part of efforts to ensure compliance with COVID-19 protocols.
I repeat, please stay off the beaches. Well, the police will be there and they have strict instructions. If they find you there, well, you will talk to them.
The police has also vowed to go all out to stop churches that may attempt to flout COVID-19 protocols this Easter by conducting all manner of services.
We are not antichrist. We are not against the churches. But looking at the global pandemic, COVID-19, brings us on board as law enforcement officers.
We have all that and more coming your way. Do stay tuned in. We'll be back in a bit.
Hello, good evening. It's time for business. The Ghana Revenue Authority has expressed readiness for the conversion of all national ID numbers into tax identification numbers, starting from tomorrow, April 1. President Akufo-Addo, in his State of the Nation address earlier this month, reiterated that the Ghana card was going to serve as a primary card for individual registrations in the country, a situation expected to ensure seamless transactions. In an interview with Joy Business after the inspection of some offices equipped for the exercise, the Commissioner General of the GRA, Reverend Amishadai Owusu Amo, expressed optimism that the move will improve revenue collection.
There has been the need for us to see as a tax authority or as a nation how we can increase the number of tax payers, and also to ensure that our revenue base as a nation also increases towards our goal of increasing the revenue to GDP ratio. Now, the starting point for even paying tax is to first to register. And to get more people to register and to get more people on the database, this is an opportunity for us to be able to get those people who are registered for the Ghana card to automatically become registered taxpayers. Number two, it's also for us as a country avoid the situation where you go here and they'll say, what is your tax identification number? And go to another place, say, what is your Ghana card now? It goes, and so there's the issue of having a united one card for Ghana. And so for us in Ghana Revenue Authority, it's an important step for us because it gives us a huge database where we can now start engaging the people who are registered and then trying to also now identify how they can comply with tax and then also to see which tax types they are eligible or they are supposed to pay, and then we'll be able to get the tax type for them. So what we have done today, because as you are aware, the starting date is on the 1st of April, and tomorrow is 1st April. So we have made sure that the offices are ready, and 14 of the offices are ready, and we have already set them up. And so what you saw today is the NIA team who are co-locating with us and are working together with us. So they will do the process, and then by the time the process comes to an end, it automatically feeds into our system to ensure that your Ghana card will also become your TIN.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has denied lending to government more than what was approved by Parliament last year. Parliament last year gave government a borrowing cap of 10 billion cedis from the central bank. However, the 2021 budget statement shows that the Bank of Ghana lent about 22.5 billion cedis to government. The minority is raising a red flag about this issue, insisting the governor will be asked to appear before the House to answer questions. Philip Otu is Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana.
What we did was that we just did 10 billion Ghana cedis to government to support the budget and to meet expenses that had come about as a result of the COVID.
But what is it I go through the government financing operation and I see 22.5, that adage that numbers don't lie or the book don't. The numbers here suggest that you have financed more than 10 billion to government.
Well, it's the way the accounts are structured. Let me give you a breakdown of that 22 point. You said it's what, 22.5? Yeah, let me give you a breakdown of that 22.5, and then I'll take my time to walk you through each of the lines.
I'm saying that this is more than 10 billion.
Well, it's more than 10 billion, but the whole 22.5 is not high-powered money that was taken out of the central bank and given to government. Okay. 10 billion of that amount is as a result of the asset purchase program. Then we also have the IMF rapid credit facility. You may recall that at the height of the pandemic, the IMF made available resources to help low-income countries and some middle-income countries to help deal with the pandemic. Ghana got $1 billion out of that amount. Now, the way the accounts and the way in which the resources came into the government, the IMF indicated clearly that it should be treated as a budget support. The problem is that the IMF does not deal with government. The IMF deals with government through the central bank. So what the IMF did was that it lent the money to the central bank, and the central bank then unlent the money to government. So the monies hit our reserves. We gave government the CD deposits, put it in the account, and then at the same time, because we lent the monies to government, we created a claim on government. So that extra $1 billion, which amounted to, I think, 5.587 billion Ghana cedis, in the books of the central bank, will be seen as a lending that the central bank had done to government. But in reality, the base source of the money came from the IMF. It came from the IMF to Bank of Ghana, and then we unlent the money to. And we had to show it explicitly in our line as a claim on government. That is another extra 5.5 billion, which is adding up to the 10 billion that we did.
Well, the Agri Development Bank registered a profit of 65 million cedis, about 194% increase in that regard. Charles Nixon Yeboah has more in this report.
The bank grew all its income lines despite the impact of COVID-19 on businesses. It was one of the few banks that was involved in loans and advancement amid the coronavirus. This was demonstrated in significant growth in interest income, as well as fees and commissions, despite a jump in its bad debt from 15 million cedis to 23 million cedis. Shareholders of the bank will be smiling following the remarkable growth in profit, as earnings per share went up to 24.99 pesos per share from 5.66 pesos in 2019. The bank, importantly, has seen a swift turnaround under the leadership of Dr. John Kofi Mensah. The balance sheet size hit 10.5 billion cedis at the end of December last year, as against 8.3 billion cedis in 2019. For the financial soundness indicators, ADB recorded a liquidity ratio of 117%, but non-performing loans were still high at 34%, though had seen some 6 percentage points drop. The bank, however, is now very stable and stronger.
And that's how we end business. Sport is up next.
Thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. Time now for the sports. I'm Gary Al Smith. In the
last 3 months alone, 3 Ghana Premier League top strikers have left and they have gone to Algerian clubs. Now, Dreams FC's Joseph Esso is the latest player to join a Premier League side in Algeria, and that is after the departures of Daniel Lomote, who used to play for Wafa, and Kwame Poku, who used to play for Asante Kotoko. Will the trend continue? Here's a report by my colleague Mubarak Haruna.
Once upon a time, this season's Ghana Premier League had Daniel Lomote, Kwame Poku, and Joseph Esso set to battle it out for the Golden Boot Award. Fast forward to mid-season and none of these strikers would be available for the second round. Coincidentally, all 3 strikers have found a new home in Algeria. Lomote took the first step when he joined ES Setif in the early weeks of the season. The former Wafa player had hit 8 goals and looked like he was going to run away with a top scorer award. In a deal believed to be worth $100,000, Lomote agreed to join Setif on a 3-year deal, leaving behind a Wafa side who had a promising start to the campaign. Then came Kwame Poku when Lomote left the shores of Ghana. Poku looked like the next striker in line to win the Golden Boot. His aggressive and bullish nature saw him become a key player for Asante Kotoko as the season progressed. The former Nkranza Warriors striker ended up scoring 7 goals in the league, a number which represented more than 50% of Kotoko's goals. Poku was rewarded with a Black Stars call-up, making his debut against South Africa. Such an incredible rise attracted eyeballs across the continent with a lot of interest from North Africa. Algeria once again became the destination for Poku, who joined USM Alger on a 4-year deal worth more than 500,000 euros. Just when everyone thought that would be the last of this developing trade between Ghana and Algeria, one more deal popped up. That one perhaps went under the radar in terms of media coverage because of the international break. Dreams FC talisman Joseph Esso joined Algerian outfit MC Algiers on a 3-year deal. The deal was agreed just days after Esso enjoyed his debut call-up to the Black Stars. Esso's move raised a lot of eyebrows due to his rediscovered form under new head coach Vladislav Veric. The 24-year-old was in a contention for the top scorer award, having scored 10 goals so far. Losing 3 strikers in just the first 3 months of football played so far in the 2020-2021 season leaves a lot of questions. Will the departure of this trio conclude the rising trade of players from Ghana to Algeria, or will this be the beginning?
We explore this topic in more detail tomorrow when we bring you a really big show. That will be GPL Primer. Remember, we brought you 3 before the season started, 1 for Kotoko, 1 for Hearts, and a general one. Now that the second round is about to begin this weekend, we are bringing you the mid-season edition. It will be at 9 p.m. tomorrow, and it will last 90 minutes. So join us for that tomorrow. In our next story, Member of Parliament of Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, is worried that there is no Premier League club from his region. Now, this season's Ghana Premier League is without a team from the capital of the Northern region. This extends a 2-year period where the city has failed to produce a rep in the country's top division. His club, Steadfast FC, Real Tamale United, and Tamale City, although they are doing well, all play in the lower leagues.
Enormous potential of young people with skills and with brilliance in football. They need exposure, they need an opportunity, and they need a platform to showcase their skills and their talent. One of my daily regrets is the fact that there's no premier team in Tamale. Yes. So many of the opportunities are lost because we don't have a premier team. That's why I pray that either RTU or Steadfast FC or Tamale City makes it this time around. And we're lucky President Kufuor built this stadium for Tamale, which is serving a very useful purpose. It's underutilized because of the fact that we do not have a premier club in Tamale, even though there are many Division 1 clubs, but we necessarily need to be at the level of premiership. So I'm investing quietly into football. It's quite a very expensive undertaking.
I was going to ask you how draining it is.
And it can be as money gushing just like the politics I do, but that one you can be hopeful if you are able to get lucky to hit a jackpot, as we are close to one,
then you can smile at your investment over a long period of time.
So that's it for the sport for now. But in the next hour, I'm going to bring you the full extended feature of the Japanese player.
What's it? Moboma George SC. Muse fancy kakra kakra. Merasi. Muse fancy kakra kakra.
Are you able to interact with the people?
Yeah, I'm interacting. I love how the local people here, the Ghanaian people, how they communicate, including my teammates. Very friendly, very open-minded. I love them.
So yes, now we'll be showing you the full feature in the next hour. I'm Gary Osman. That's the sport for now. Please stay with us.
All right, it's time for Showbiz. And Becky Bex is here. Hello, Bex.
Hello to you, Izzy. How you doing?
Yeah, one of my favorite people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm blushing. Let's see if you can see my blush. Okay, great.
Okay, all right.
So, Wendy Shea.
I can see you. Becky vibes. Wendy Shea. Yeah.
Wendy Shea is about to release an album after Shea on You album. And she has released a documentary.
Okay.
Yes, about her life when she got to Ghana and how much she had when she got to Ghana and how she met Bullet and the songs and everything in a 5-minute documentary.
Okay.
But we're not playing the 5-minute documentary. We will give you some few minutes of the documentary.
Okay.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful documentary. So who is your gang? Easy gang.
Okay, I call them the Israeli army.
Israeli army. Hey.
Yeah.
Christopher Adoswo. But
no, you know the Israeli army is a really powerful army.
Yeah, they are. But
so if you want to be part of the Israeli army.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm like the first person.
Commander.
In chief. But well, it seems that Davido has confirmed his breakup with his baby mama.
Oh, really?
Chioma, yeah, assurance. We got, all the assurance, and the assurance didn't assure. So
that's a shame.
Yeah, so apparently, in a picture that has gone viral, he was seen kissing his alleged new lover, an Instagram model, Maya Yafai. However, this is not the first time they have been seen together. Davido was first spotted with Maya a few weeks ago while on holiday in St. Martin with his team at an event on the Caribbean island. Following that, there were rumors that Davido and Chioma's relationship allegedly ended in 2020 after he claimed in an interview in November that he was under pressure to marry the baby mama. So basically that's, what happened. So I think the breakup happened last year, It's so sad that people start a love story and then they just makes me just
what happens to that song now? Sure.
I know. This is a beautiful song. They were
right.
They were almost married.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Becky Bex, for bringing us Showbiz.
Anytime.
Let's go onto my Joy Online right now and get to see some of the top stories there on the website. A number of the stories will be coming up shortly. So we have Esiedu Nketia saying it was the NDC's decisions to approve quote, lame duck Uforiata as finance minister. Esiedu Nketia. And then Samuel Kujota Blackwell resigns from Parliament Appointment Committee. We've been talking about it in the bulletin. All right, so you can get to my Joy Online and get to read more of the stories. There's more news on the Joy News channel. Do stay tuned in. The police is justifying plans to clamp down on churches that flout COVID-19 restrictions in the name of Easter celebrations, which go into full swing in a matter of days. The move, according to the police, has become necessary as a result of a breach of the protocols. There's more in the following report.
At a media engagement on security measures during Easter and beyond, national and regional police chiefs took turns to update journalists on ongoing measures to ensure safety during the festivities. The move, according to the police, has become necessary as it appears COVID-19 protocols have been laxed.
We are mandated by the Constitution to protect lives, to maintain law and order, and that is exactly what we are going to do this Easter occasion. And to do that, we're going to deploy a lot of personnel. All our office staff will be out there to provide security, including our patrol teams. And most of these people will be in mufti. They will be in plain clothes. So when you don't see uniformed personnel, don't think that we don't have police officers around.
Accra Regional Director of Operations, ACP Kwisifuri, says the police are not against the church, but the celebrations must be in conformity with safety protocols.
And as a result, it needs the various police formations to come together and make sure that we enforce the executive orders of the Republic put up by His Excellency the President. And one may ask, why are we so interested in this? We are not antichrist. We are not against the churches. But looking at the global pandemic, COVID-19, brings us on board as law enforcement officers.
The attention goes beyond churches as the police also announced the clampdown on beaches, nightclubs and betting centers. Plainclothes police officers will be deployed to the communities and amusement centers.
You know, we have a large and long track of beaches across the country in the southern end. And in Accra, we've identified beaches like Okurobite Beach, Bojo, Dansoman, Glefe, Mensagini, Independence Square, the Rivera beaches, Nungwa, Teshi, and Sakumono beaches, stretching to our nearest region, Tama, up to Adan. And we vow to make sure that we saturate the beaches with our personnel and forces.
Concerned about crowd. Our concern is about the gathering, the crowds that abuse the COVID protocol, social distancing and all. That is why we will be there. And then your last point was about land guards. We will not mention the area specifically because we are going all out across the country. Now, land guardism is not only a character of Accra and Tema, but we see that it is extending beyond Accra and Tema, and so across the country. If you know you want to engage in land guardism or you're already engaged in it, this is a warning to you to stop.
The police is urging the public to cooperate in ensuring the safety of all Ghanaians as it intends to make more arrests during the festivities. Almost 200 COVID-19 convictions have already taken place.
Right, so all this is being done to ensure that the residents or Ghanaians comply with the COVID-19 restrictions. Now, let's look at the COVID-19 update from the Ghana Health Service website. And these are the figures that are there right now. There are 31 new cases, and there are 90,583 confirmed cases. That is from last year. The deaths are 743. We've had 88,065 recoveries discharged. And the active cases currently stand at 1,775. Right, so if you plan on going to the beach this Easter, think again, as the Greater Accra Region Minister Henry Quartey has directed the police and other security personnel to close down all beaches from Adan to the coastal boundary with the central region indefinitely to ensure sustained compliance with all COVID-19 safety protocols, especially during the Easter festivities. He warned those caught defying the directive will be arrested, fined, or prosecuted.
As part of the restrictions on the fight against the COVID-19, Mr. President has on several occasions on his address to the nation indicated the need for us to avoid going to the pubs, nightclubs, and especially the beaches. But people were not listening. So in collaboration with the Ministries of the Interior, whose mandate it is to protect lives and properties, and also to ensure that people abide by the laws governing this country. And the IGP, we have met, and with that collaboration, I'm sending this warning to all of everybody. To Friday being Easter holiday and Monday, please stay off the beaches. I repeat, please stay off the beaches. Well, the police will be there, and they have strict instructions. If they find you there, well, you will talk to them. If they find you at the beaches, you talk to them, and they also talk to you. So if you want to avoid talking to them, don't go there. And there will be heavy deployment all the way from Ada to the boundary between Greater Accra and the central region. I'm sure that by now we would have communicated enough on this matter. And please don't place calls to me, because my phones will be off. The president has directed, let us follow the directions. And this is not an imposition or using power and authority. It is about protecting our own selves from the spread of the virus.
Mr. Henry Quarty was speaking on the sidelines of a Crunch closed-door meeting with former regional ministers to solicit their ideas on his ambitious Let's Make Accra Work Again project.
Accra is a cosmopolitan area, and indeed, challenges that we encounter here may not be the same compared to other regions, but indeed, we have to make it work. After going through vetting, being sworn in by the president, with that vision, I began to engage the stakeholders. I extended a hand to the former Greater Accra regional ministers and the members of Council of State representing the Greater Accra regions. And the beauty of these stakeholder engagements that I've had so far is that the persons that I've engaged are all from both sides of the political, if you like, fraternity. And so that strengthens the unity for us. And by the grace of God, I intend, as a matter of urgency, coming up with a regional consultative committee, which will comprise of professionals, just like cabinets. And then they will meet maybe once or twice every month and begin to put together a working document for Accra, and also to advise me as to the steps I take. Again, there will be Operation Clean Your Frontage. You remember we discussed it very, very soon. And that we expect all and sundry, including the corporate institutions and all that, to join us in doing so. Well, we are humans, so I wouldn't specifically say June 3rd for you to hold me, but I'm in a hurry, just like my boss, the president, said early in 2017. I am really in a hurry. I wish I could do this as early as yesterday, but you would agree with me that I need to put the right mechanisms in place, and very soon we'll launch the Let's Make Accra Work document.
Meanwhile, former Greater Accra Regional Minister Ishmael Ashite wants government to make a budgetary allocation for the office of the regional minister, lamenting regional ministers do not have control over monies delegated to the local government. Mr. Ashite said they often have great ideas but lack the necessary funds to implement them.
The residence of the regional minister is not a place that somebody can really stay. Luckily for us, some time back, Niyama Ashite started a project to put up another building. It's still at the foundation level that I've asked him to follow up quickly. I've also discussed that with the Minister of Finance. He should follow up so that we can get a place for the regional minister to stay. That building, the wood that was used is rotten. Everything is gone. So, and some other few things like trying for us to be able to raise funds. I don't know how we'll do it, but it is up to government to look at it so that the regional administrations should be given a budget. We don't have a budget to work. And if you don't have a budget to work, you will plan, you have very good ideas to do something, but you cannot do it. So that we should look at the system once again and then fashion it that as a regional minister, he should be able to look after the region and make the type of changes that he wants in the region. Today is the assemblies that are functioning. They are able to collect revenue, they get the revenue, and the assemblymen at their meeting take decisions on how the revenue should be used. So you will be sitting in Accra and you don't have any control over how revenues are really used at the various assemblies. So if you have a vision of maybe turning a place into something or putting up a structure somewhere, you have to go either to beg a minister from maybe a ministry, or you have to go to the assembly if only the money they have raised is enough to do that work, to talk to them, so that the assemblymen and then the chief executive will have to understand you before that project can be taken. I think that does not look well.
The Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department is also worried the Easter festivities are likely to see a spike in road crashes and is taking steps to minimize them. Director of Education and Training Alexander Obing says they're paying particular attention to activities that account for the increasing figures.
The Arrive Alive campaign, the media has been supporting the Ghana Police and the NRSA in that. Where we have reached, as I said, we have to also be very reactive. And that's why across the country, in all the 17 police MTTD regions, they have outlaid their plans and will be seen deployed on our roads. And as CO MTTD Accra said, it is that we will be present around the clock. We will do our checks and we will look at those routine checks that we do. And those that will be found to have flouted our campaign messages and awareness creation, same will be investigated and put before court, as we have done. For example, between February and then January and February this year, we've been managed to arrest road offenders amounting to 455. Out of these, so far, 423 have been put before court for varying road offenses, including what outlined by DCOP Mr. I. And so far, the court has convicted 362, 2 to prison. The remaining, the court imposed a punitive fine of, that summed up to 205 Ghana cedis, 205,190 Ghana cedis. And same have been paid by these offenders into the state coffers. We will sustain that. Again, we have positioned ourselves because if you don't deploy, looking at the figures, it's likely to surge. Therefore, we will deploy to detect offenses that fuel these crashes. And these offenses are speeding, drink driving in times like this, including illicit drugs that people take. We also look at those who leave vehicles unattended, and those who abuse sirens and beacon lights, and those who run red lights and run on the verges and do all manner of things. Because if you look at between January and February this year, for example, It's unusual. Why? Because if you compare with the same period last year, the crashes are by 11% from 2,302 to 2,560 involving private, commercial, and motorcycles, amounting to 4,332, which is also saw an increase of 9% over the same period last year. And then, in the process, these vehicles also have injured 2,766 Ghanaians within these 2 months. And in the process, 517 have died, which is also an increase of 31% over the same period last year between January and February.
The Savannah Regional Security Council, REDSEC, led by its chairman, Said Muhazu Jibril, has given a 4-week ultimatum to rosewood fellers, commercial charcoal burners, and illegal miners to use the period to put themselves together and pack out of the region or be dealt with according to the law. At a news briefing at Domongo in the West Gonja municipality, the chairman said the ultimatum is born out of questions thrown at him during his vetting and has vowed to deal with the menace in his first 30 days in office as regional minister.
Illegal rosewood felling and commercial charcoal burning in particular. But also bearing in mind, there's another issue that is rearing its ugly head in the Savannah region, and that has to do with illegal mining on our river bodies. And so the REDSEC took a firm decision to completely ban commercial charcoal burning in the Savannah region, also rosewood felling in the Savannah region, which is also very, very important to us as members of REDSEC, because we have to protect our environment. Then, illegal mining, how to regularize illegal mining in the Savannah region. As you are well aware, there are so many deposits of gold in the Savannah region, of which, particularly the western side of it, which is completely inundated by illegal miners in the Savannah region. And therefore, the 16 regional ministers had an opportunity to meet the sector minister, that is Lands and Natural Resources Minister, to maybe, what will I say, to find a way to stop illegal mining, but not to completely do away with mining within our Savannah region. And so we are lacing up with people with concession to register these illegal miners so that they will do community mining instead of illegal mining, destroying the environment and destroying our water bodies within the Savannah region.
Now, to ensure a comprehensive implementation of the ban, Mr. Said Jibril said REDSEC has already held a stakeholder briefing with all the necessary partners, including the Forestry Commission, and as such made the council's position known to them. On his part, the Savannah Regional Police Commander, DCOP Enoch Pedia Kweduchum, has served notice to the general public for its intolerance towards any form of intervention to stop the task force from carrying out its mandate. Now, government will on April 14 this year hold a National Consultative Forum on illegal mining to dialogue on the way forward on illegal small-scale mining in the country. President Akufo-Addo, in delivering the first State of the Nation address of his first term on Tuesday, January 5, said it was about time the government, traditional leaders, and various stakeholders in the mining sector discussed the impact of illegal mining on the country devoid of politics. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujina-Apo, who revealed this at the Durban with workers of the Minerals Commission Wednesday. The April 14 Consultative Forum will be held under the leadership of a former Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Benito Ousubio, to collate views across the country on enhancing small-scale mining and dealing with the Galamsey menace.
There's going to be a consultative dialogue, national consultative dialogue, And as I said, it's been scheduled for April the 14th, of which the president will open. And we are looking forward to having all the key stakeholders around the table. I mean, there's a committee which is coordinating this, and there is a very objective criteria for selecting those who will participate in this National Consultative Forum. The committee has actually put out notice to the country that those who have memoranda or suggestions or proposal or critiques to send memoranda to the committee. They've designated an email address, they've designated an office which is going to receive all of this. The idea is that even before we get to the dialogue proper, we would have received recommendations, suggestions, proposals or criticisms from across the country. But the obvious people who will be around the table, I mean, the National House of Chiefs, you can't escape them. The Regional House of Chiefs, you cannot. The Small Scale Miners Association, the Ghana Chamber of Mines, the media, of course, key experts, the Coalition for Civil Society Against Illegal Small-Scale Mining, and all the actors in the small-scale mining industry.
Now, the consumption of meat in Ghana reflects different beliefs, traditions, and habits, and then the ingredients and cooking methods extend beyond nourishment. As part of our Ghana Man series, Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong interacts with traders in some markets in Kumasi on the variety of meat used in Ghanaian dishes.
It's still Ghana Month, and we are here at the Kumasi Central Market to find out more about the meat we consume. Well, there are tons of meats that we consume, but the traders say there are some which are quite scarce on the market, and they are also letting in on some secrets when preparing great meals. They say that you cannot combine some meats with others when you are preparing meals, as it wouldn't give you the taste that you require. Let us go to them, and so they tell us more.
We have a and also we are the bank in Chiapati. Nagana for the area to be and I always said, as open one, we are no Ucha. And also, we are bank, what's a baby. No, what's all, Kotoji. No, what's all, baby. Baby, I'm saying, it's when you are Kabum. So I have bank, and I said, be a castle coin. And I said, real coin. Open my idea, and won't send someone. When I let me have wow. Now, when you are, so when I see it, and also at the park, I went on. Don't get a lot for the area. It's where is the wow. You say, and then she and I asked, and I was here, she and I got a party. Oh, some difference. There I see it. And I went here, we are cranty. A friend are cranty. We in Muramunam, bush. To know to try. A dear light soup, Nagua, tomatoes, having Kumaka crown. The boo of betting me do no quiet. The boo also what they are drinking. I drink baby. Oh, to me the frat. A bet me the Amani baby. Afra, a bet me the watching. And so after we no at the pa near what back do all months so I can see it. You find chin shade. When they come up, only young choir, and man quiet day. The young choir man quiet near the pa, man quiet day. I didn't know my opportunity, a friend of Jawarian. I tell point pa. Where's the other line? When it's there, I don't quite be any last week sending at the pa, out in the years too, and it's too short. What's in the area where I don't coin, I got to coin. Fish, you know, who are already new bow, put on what offer. Said a mamma coin I had there. So now the Uja are in a name, or I watch away you, Ujen anyway in a bushwa. Mamma I had there. So, and the Garrick is also for Fredian, said a baya, a mamma coin, taste a boom. But it got any 10 cities. And it's 50 cities. You better only cry and get all my estates. And I pay 40 cities.
50 wom, 20 wom, 25 wom.
Mama pork 10 cedis. Yeah. So, okay, sure. So which meal are you preparing this week? Well, I am here to buy pork worth 10 cedis. So, I mean, I'll add some I'll add salmon and beef and others. Reporting for Joy News, Mona Lisa from Kumasi.
Okay, I'm not so sure about the pork feet in the pig feet in my groundnut soup. No me. All right, now how tall is the tallest man in Ghana? Could he be 7 feet or 8 feet tall? Join us, Mahmoud Mamenudin met a young man at Nalarugu in the northeast region who believes he's the tallest man in the 5 regions of the north. For members of his community, though, they believe he's the tallest man in the country. Interestingly, though, Suleimana Abdul Samed hasn't always been a tall man. Here's more.
He was once a winger, I know, who could dribble. Anytime a ball was handed over to him, you always make a surprising thing there.
Not even me, even those outside. Awuchi cannot go anywhere and come back and they're talking bad things about Awuchi. Even small children.
Maybe he doesn't look so spectacular from this perspective. But when you see Suleiman Abdul Samad from a distance, you will take a step back. He is preparing to go to his workplace few meters away from his house.
I'm 27 years now. You see, people will see you like giving you age like 40 or 50. I'm 27 years now.
Beyond his daily task, the 27-year-old was once a public figure here in Gambaga. He was named after one-time Liverpool striker Peter Crouch.
People normally come to this area and they rent me as a player. You understand that? People come to this area and they rent me to different area to play football for them. Leaving my team, I will be leaving my team. And then they will pick me out of my team, send me to different team. I was a winger, I was playing 11 winger. So I was a lefty.
Surprisingly, he was not born tall. Suleimana, aka Awuchi, says he only woke up one day and realized his height was increasing and his foot was getting much bigger than the size of his shoe.
One night I just slept and then wake up, see my everything getting big. You see that? See my everything getting big. Up, and this my tank, it was big in my mouth, which I couldn't breathe self. So I just rushed to La Paz, my brothers, and then he sent me to one clinic around there. And yes, everything was getting big. As you can see, this is my sandals. I was not wearing these sandals. I normally have my camboos, my slippers wearing fine. And I just started getting big. My things started getting big. From that night, I just see I'm growing tall. And I don't know. So, but if you just, like, if I just leave La Paz for 1 month or 2 months and then go there, they'll be telling me that, I would say you are tall. You are just getting tall. And I say, how come?
Then, one night I just checked, then I saw, no, my guy was not the same person. Really, what happened, I can't really tell, or we could not tell what happened. So, the issue of the sickness of Awuchi really, if I may say, naturally it has occurred. But even though natural things are there, but there are other things we can use to, let's say, curtail or control the situation. Things happen naturally, but there are other remedies one can. So, frankly speaking, I am not really quite happy for, let's say, about the situation which he's finding himself in.
Awuchi does more than his mobile money business. He is also into politics. This Prajia was bought for him by his mentor, Vice President Dr. Bawumia.
In the back of the yellow, I just wrote Dr. Bawumia on it. And nobody can question me about that. He's my mentor. You see that? Dr. Bawumia, he gave me that money. At the back, that's my signboard, Dr. Bawumia. You see that my people will start calling me Dr. Bawumia, Dr. Bawumia. I'll be laughing.
Suleiman's mom died in 2015 and he lost his father too in 2019.
From 2015, that my mother passed away in April. I just wrote SHS 2 years that my mother passed away. So 2 years, I just said, okay. So I was just there 2016. I was there 2017, 2018. I just decided, let me just sit down for a while.
Wow, I thought I was tall, but Awuchi is clearly a whole lot taller, and I'm not sure he can actually fit into the studio. Right, we're taking a break. We're bringing you business, more business next. Do stay tuned in.
You're welcome back to business. You will be paying more for electricity in the course of the coming weeks. This follows an public notice by the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission, that is the PURC, on the need for this particular direction. Of course, it has been examined and is in line with the prevailing market prices for the various cost items, service charges, and economic indicators. The rates are, however, subject to approval by the board of the commission once duly constituted. Meanwhile, the Institute for Energy Security is warning that the recent power challenges pose a threat to the rebooting of the economy. In a statement, it said that even though the issue of power outages is never a new thing to the economy, the current power challenges require a swift intervention. It therefore urged government to ensure that the cash flow constraints, which makes it difficult for the power transmitter, which is Gridco, and the distributors to improve on their network, is swiftly addressed. Away from that, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amoah, is raising concerns that Hassan Tampoli is still running affairs of the National Petroleum Authority despite assuming the role of Member of Parliament for the Gushegu constituency. Well, Kopok says that it cited correspondence from Hassan Tampoli to the MPA despite his new role, which is a breach of the corporate governance laws of public institutions. Listen to Duncan Amoah make his case for the stepping down of Hassan Tampoli.
One would have expected that he would have resigned to contest that public office, but that was not done. Then, thankfully, he wins and gets sworn in as a representative of the people of Gushegu. The expectation again would have been that he would have given way to another person to also start working in the interest of Ghanaians so that he could focus a lot more on his new role as a parliamentarian representing Gushegu. We say this on the back of the fact that conflict of interest situations would somehow abound. If you look at the fact that NPA would definitely work as a government institution, and where answers are needed by parliamentarians, you would expect the CEO to be in a hurry to provide these answers. If the same CEO doubles as an MP, without necessarily going to the committee on members, on members of parliament engaged in profit business, then there's probably some breach there.
To end business, I'm Charles Aite.
Hey, thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. Gary Alsmith here with the second batch of the sport. And as promised, he's the first Japanese to play in the Ghana Premier League. Shindo Murushita signed for Ebusian Dwarfs early this month, but he has settled into the new club and environment quicker than expected. Murushita has been telling George Addo Jr. why he decided to play club football in Ghana and Africa at large, and his targets for the second round of the league, and also loving Shatawale's music.
What then? From Shindo, me fi Japan. Moboma George SC. Munse fancy kakra kakra. Merasi. Munse fancy kakra kakra.
Are you able to interact with the people?
Yeah, I'm interacting. I love how the local people here, the Ghanaian people, how they communicate, including my teammates. Very friendly, very open-minded. I love them.
So just now we are training. I just asked him, come and stand in front. They say, what is the meaning? I say, Berejina ha. I say, mintiase. So it's just funny.
Oh, funny pa no horse pa. Oni diagro joke ni ada de even your bass mukra. Oni diagro was try say obetumi aka tree ni bi.
It's the first country to declare independence in Africa, so I always thought to put myself here.
A striker on the pitch, brave to venture into unfamiliar territory, an academy coach, and a true professional. These adjectives describe Ebusian Dwarf's new striker, Shindo Murushita. Shindo has been around the world. His last football stint was in Zambia, where he played for FC Muza in pursuit of football. Shindo has embarked on a trip worth 3.953 kilometers from the eastern part of Africa to the west. And it's Ghana Premier League time.
I actually started my professional career in Zambia, and the reason why I picked Africa as a field is because I often think that the African talents have been overlooked. There's a lot of talent here, and how I know this is obviously, well, I'm a player, but at the same time I have a coaching license, and I've been coaching the academy levels, and I see lots of talents here, but not many people, in fact the Japanese people or the Asian people, think Africa as a place to build their career as a footballer.
Yeah.
And also there's not many connections between Japan and Africa to bring the African countries outside Africa. So I thought it would be an interesting for me to build a professional career as a footballer in Africa, because there's no, I think I would be one of the pioneers here. And the reason why I picked Ghana is, well, after my season in Zambia, in fact, I was traveling throughout Africa, including Tanzania, Ghana, Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. And looking at all these countries, well, Ghana, I thought, as I said, I loved the people here, the country, the culture, the food. So, all in general, like, that's the reason why I picked Ghana as a field. But looking at the football side, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of talent here, very physical, very competitive. So, yeah, that's one thing. And obviously I had connections here, so that's the reason why I picked Ghana.
The Ghana Premier League this season has been spoiled with foreigners. Talk about Kumasi Asante Kotoko and their Brazilian romance with Fabio Gama and Michael Vinicius leading the charge, and on top of it, a Portuguese manager in Mariano Barreto. However, the struggles of these players is no secret. Ghana's top flight is renowned for its physicality and agility, and being the division's first Japanese, this should be interesting. Some
of the supporters might have already seen me. I've been exposed for 2 friendly matches, scored 2 goals, and I'm a striker. But I'm not a striker who keeps the ball in front. I'm not physical compared to these big Ghanaian players, but I like to run in the space. I like to give these technical movements, and I have good shots. So I would love the support and the Ghanaian people to expect goals from me, creating chances. Not only that, I also take set pieces. I also take free kicks, corner kicks, and everything. So yeah, those are the things I would love them to expect from me. I didn't see every team play, but Asante Kotoko, obviously I watched Dwarfs several games from the first round. Very physical, speed, and even after playing several games in the friendly matches, the pressure from the defender, very hard. I need to, I'm struggling, but at the same time, I see some chances for me to fit in the team and contribute to the team. So yeah, I think that comparing my physical level with them is quite nonsense because we have limited time to prepare, and improving my physical level, obviously I would get fitter, but improving my physical level, I would rather improve my, prepare better in my technical level, with the movements and the quality of the play. That's what I need to work more on during this preparation period.
Ebusian Dwarfs are currently 9th on the league table after the first round and have a target of finishing in the top 4 this season. However, goal scoring has been the Achilles, and the signing of Shindo Murushita is thought to be the panacea. Wondering how many goals he has promised to score?
There is going to be 17 games during the second round, so 10 goals. That's my goal for now. I mean, we need to figure out the work permit issues. I don't know if that's coming out yet, but if I have enough time to that, I'm very confident to contribute to the team.
Shindo won't play in a vacuum. With the league nearing its second half, he will need to scale the language barrier, deal with the harsh weather, and as well, build telepathy with his teammates.
Shindo is a very good guy and a very quiet, very technical and technique person. Working with him for some few weeks ago, I think he's a very good player. And when we get time for him, he will do best. He just played like a friendly match last week. He just scored a goal. And his status and his movement were very brilliant.
Is he a fun person to be with?
Yeah, very funny.
Tell me about it.
Very funny. He's now speaking our language, local language self. I asked him today and he said, when he listens to somebody speaking the local language, then he writes it down, and when he sees us, he asks. Yeah. And when you tell him the meaning of the language, then he started saying it. So just now we were training, and I just asked him, come and stand in front. They say, what is the meaning? I say, Berejinaha. I say, Mintiase. So it's just funny.
You break it kakra 3 days na me around na me wakra nti me buy 3 days am me no be training no me hu say be hu any try match say bo no me hu say you good pa you good we share goals are even cry wa be share ni adade no me hu say wa batimi no be boy so share ni ball a obo ni movement ni adade no oya de pa nti obetimi aboy funny pa no horse pa oni edi agro joke ni adade even your boss mukra oni edi agro try say obetimi aka atwi ne bi nti no ote kakra obusa no ote say on so just weye won te say ni adade nti no betimi aka say oba atimi no so no nani age pa.
At the moment, it all seems to be going well. The tactical demands of playing under coach Ernest Thompson are Herculean. But it appears after some training sessions and friendly games, the head coach of Ebusian Dwarfs is pretty confident the Japanese adventure will pay off.
Well, Shindo comes in with a lot of speed, pace, should I say. He's very pacey, and he's one player who knows when to run off the ball and when not to. I think he needs time. To be very frank, he needs time to actually gel in the team, because he needs to actually gel with the rest of those he came to meet. So it takes some time. So we are not rushing him. So I think, yes, he has certain qualities that we need, and I think that is going to help us going forward.
How has his integration been so far?
Oh, Shindo happens to be a very funny guy, and he's actually mingled with the guys. He likes speaking the Fanti language and, cracking some jokes in Fanti. And he now calls himself Kofi. And I think it's fun, having him around is fun. And all the guys seem to, like him. And I think it's good.
And Shindo Murushita is already the talk of town.
Shindo was surprised because ball like Shindo almost in fact, ball like Shindo on Sunday. We are most more expectation.
But I see the guy to be very sweet for him. He also is so good in positioning himself on the ball. Yes, he scored, and he scored. It was a very fantastic. His finishing is good, and so if they can be directing passes to him, I think once his finishing is good, he can make use of opportunities or chances which comes his way.
The Zambian experience did not end quite well, but the Japanese striker is determined to make Ghana work. And if Shindo should score 10 goals he has promised, this will be history anyway, to be matched or surpassed by Japanese set to follow his trail.
Shindo Murushita, we will be back to get an audit of his performance. But so far, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that's the sport for now. Israel has something to say about that, but that'll be after the break.
Right, and that'll be it for the bulletin for this evening. I'm Israel. Thank you very much for watching.